Hello everybody, welcome to the Netherlands. We're at Arnhem. It's round 16 of the FIA Motocross World Championship. Welcome to our live studio show here on MXGP TV. We're also live on Facebook and YouTube as well. And coming up on today's show, we have from MX2, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing's Sacha Coenen. We also have Pauls Jonass coming in from Standing Construct Honda. And of course, Giacomo Gariboldi, the owner from Team HRC. So a good action-packed show lineup for today. But before we go anywhere, Lisa Leyland. Here we are. We're in Holland. It's been a short week. Did you manage to get up to anything nice?
Unpacked.
Did you have time for it?
Washed my clothes. Packed my clothes. And that was it, really. It was productive.
Yeah. So, yeah, that gives an indication as to how our weeks are very short and we don't get time to do anything. It's muggy here as well, though, isn't it?
It is. It's not good for the hair. It's a bit of... It's not good for... Oh, you pointed that out.
I did, actually, yeah.
No, but it's good. It's warm.
It's humid and muggy.
Yeah.
Anyway. Let's get on with the show, shall we? Enough of all that claptrap. Our first guest is joining us now, of course, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing's MX2 rookie, Sacha Coenen. Sacha, welcome to our live studio show here on MXGP TV. And great to see you, by the way. First of all, just mentioned, rookie season. Are you pleased with how everything has been going up to this point?
Not so much. I prefer to ride more in the front in the beginning of the season, but didn't get as planned in the beginning of the season. I had an injury in the shoulder, so I need to get operation. So I missed 4 or 5 rounds. So it was not so good. And then the first race was in Portugal and didn't get as planned. But now it's getting better and getting better every race. And we tried to do the best we could.
Yeah, well, you did mention that shoulder injury just before Argentina, and actually 1 week before we left, you did an international in France. So, did you feel like you were in good shape then at that point? And how much do you think it's kind of held you back? And are you still kind of maybe playing catch up right now, even now, or do you think you're almost there?
No, before was the riding was so good, and we had some, everything was perfect to go to Argentina, and then this happens without a crash, so it was really unfortunate, but it's like this, and now feeling quite better every weekend, and we slowly get better every race, so we try to do the best we can now this weekend, and we give it all.
Cool.
When you came into the championship at round 5, were you surprised at just how quick the pace was in MX2, and perhaps maybe how much intensity you may have missed?
Yeah, a little bit, because in the beginning it was quite hard, and the speed was also high, but we made a lot of mistakes in the beginning of the season, so now we make less mistakes, and it's getting better.
On a positive note, on the second half of the season, it's actually been okay. Czech Republic, 5th, 7th for 7th overall. What did you do differently that weekend? We just got a clip here. You can talk us through it.
Yeah, I didn't do so much different, just adapt a bit my riding style, and it was getting better. Had some good starts, so it was also a good point. And now every start is quite good, so try to stay with starts like this, and better in front, and do the best.
Was that the first time you'd ridden at Loket? Because I know Lucas maybe rode a junior race there, maybe, or not?
I think the first time was in 2016.
Yeah.
I rode in 65. Then the year after, 2017, also in 65. 19, the 85 with Yamaha.
So you knew your way around, and you had an understanding of the track already. Did that help as well, maybe, going to a track that you already knew the layout?
Yeah, I knew the layout because Loket never changed, and it's not a big advent. It's just a good track, and we like to go to Loket.
Well, you had another good week in Finland just a couple of rounds ago. 9th and 6th, but you got 2nd in the Ram qualifying race that weekend. Seems you have found another level in the last couple of races. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, maybe. I just had some good starts, and in Finland I just rode and make some good lap times, and so it was good. I finished in 2nd, and all the race was kind of perfect, just riding. And the Sunday was a bit more difficult because with the first motor start I was last, so to pass was really difficult. And second motor I had a really good start, take almost a whole shot, and then make some mistakes. So we tried to make the less mistakes we could, but we're working on this.
Yeah. Well, you did more than that in Sweden. Sweden. You got a good start in the qualifying race. You led for what, 7, 8 laps, something like that, in the Ram qualifying race. And I think that's the first time you've led in MX2 this year. It looked like you're enjoying being up front. And you mentioned it earlier when you said, I wish I'd battled more up front for the season rather than having the problems you had in the beginning of the year. But how was it leading? Did you feel any pressure? You look quite relaxed. Did you feel relaxed?
No, I just felt good because now I was riding like on training and I was having fun and track was so nice. And then after 20 minutes was 2 laps to go and make some stupid mistakes. And it was a bit unfortunate because we could have won the Ram qualifying for the first time, and we tried this weekend maybe.
But when you said you made those couple of mistakes, did you then try, because it's an automatic reaction, isn't it, to think, I made some mistakes, the guy behind is catching, so you try to go full gas, and then did you make more mistakes trying to pull away instead of staying more calm?
No, not so much. It was just a bit, I couldn't explain it because it was more mistakes because they were not so pushing because I had some lead. Yeah. But no, didn't have pressure or anything, just having fun on the bike and just ride.
Well, despite those mistakes, would you say perhaps your confidence is getting more and more because of these better results?
Yeah, I have more confidence every weekend because I just go and I'm better for the front and I just want to win a race this year and do the best weekend, and hopefully this weekend it can happen.
Well, like you said, you do want to win a race this year. My next question is, what is your goal between now and the end of the year? We've got 4 rounds left. So winning the race and anything else?
Yeah, I just want to win like a GP and do the best weekend to the end of the season and finish strong and keep building for next year.
All right. Well, obviously, brand new track again this weekend for most people, I guess, because some would have ridden in the Dutch Championship. First time here for you, or have you trained here in the past?
No, first time I came was 2016.
Yeah.
But was quite different the track. But I rode here also last year on the Dutch Masters. So yeah, I know this track and it's really nice.
And how was it in the free practice?
Yeah, it was okay. I had some good laps and having fun on track because it's a really nice track and it's also sand, so we like it.
All right. Well, look, Sacha Coenen, Rebel KTM Factory Racing, thanks for joining us in here. And all the best for not just this weekend, but the final 3 rounds after that as well. Good to see you. And, enjoy the weekend.
Thank you.
Right, our second guest is getting ready to come in and join us, and that is Pauls Jonass from Standing Construct Honda Racing. We'll talk to him in a moment, but before we do, here's another little snippet from Behind the Gate. This one, episode 15, the latest one that's out. It's called Breaking Point, and it focuses on a little bit of the battle in MX2 from Finland. Enjoy.
We saw home GP of Jargo. He won it in convincing style.
He win 3 moto and it was in shape and everything is working well.
He leaves there having just lapped Adamo in race 2, his closest rival.
The championship leader getting lapped by his main rival now, Jargo Kiets.
And heads to Finland with a 13-point deficit to make up.
Coming into the Finnish GP, the points gap is considerably less. There's just 13 points between Jargo and Andrea.
Things are really starting to heat up now between Andrea Adamo and Jargo Kiets.
Could be the weekend where Jargo takes back that red plate.
Now, a lot of riders don't necessarily dwell on previous visits to certain countries or tracks, but the last time we were in Finland, a year ago, the battle was between Jargo Kiets, who was leading the championship, and Tom Vial.
"30 minutes plus 2 laps, MX2 race 2, the Fly Racing 15-second board up for the final time this weekend.
I think Vial was 3rd or 4th on about lap 2 or 3 of the second race. Jargo was leading, had a good gap over second, only fell.
Oh, and Kiets is off the bike. Wow. And he's underneath, he can't get out. Drama for the championship leader, who is pinned underneath that Monster Energy Yamaha.
Was underneath the bike, had to come through traffic, got back to probably 6th or 7th again. Tom Vial goes on, wins a race. The gap comes down to about 12, 14 points. Now, the only saving grace coming into Finland this year was new track. So for Jargo Kids, for the Yamaha guys, they're thinking there's not an issue here because there are no demons from 12 months ago.
So that can do one of two things. That could really kind of affect him psychologically with that in the back of his head. Or he can be like, you know what, I've got unfinished business, I've got a point to prove, and I'm not going to make that same mistake twice.
Hello everybody, welcome back to our live studio show here on MXGP TV with me, Paul Malin, and Lisa Leyland. And our next guest is in, Pauls Jonass from Standing Construct Honda MXGP. And actually, just before we catch up with Pauls, if you like those BT behind the gates, we call them BTGs, of course, and you are interested to see how that one finishes, then of course it's online now, so tune in and enjoy. Right, let's touch in with Pauls Jonass, shall we? PJ,
hello.
Great to see you. Normally, right, I'd ask, how's the season going? But as you've only done 3 or 4 Grand Prix, can't really go there. I guess frustrated or frustrating is probably the word you would use.
Yeah, it's been a really disappointing season. Like I've done just 4 GPs now. Yeah, well, nearly, you know. So there hasn't been so much racing this year for me with a few small injuries, which cost a lot, you know. And yeah, once the season starts rolling, you know, there's GP back to GP, then it's difficult to come back. And yeah, when I came back, I got another injury, so it's been really frustrating. But I'm happy to be back, enjoying to be back in the paddock. And yeah, Sweden went good, so hopefully this weekend will be the same.
When did the problem start? Because Switzerland, you didn't score in the races there, but you did start the races. But were you having problems before that, or was it an injury you picked up there and then?
Yeah, actually, like before then, everything was fine in Switzerland. Yeah, in the first moto, I came together a few riders in the first lap, and then it was...
Was that with the Jeremy and
yeah, with Jeremy Ferrato, and then we had a small bike malfunction there, so I couldn't finish the moto. And then second race, I was riding, I think, 9th or 10th around that positions, and then just tried to make a Superman through the waves, and went flying and had a big hematoma, open wound, which took some time to heal. Came back from that one practicing, had a big crash in the practice again, had to take some time off, came back to France, crash in time practice, and then again, 2 months out. So it's been just like once the ball started to roll, it when they say like when it rains it pours, and it was like that. You know, when I came back, it was tough. Yeah.
Well, before that, it did seem like you had a productive winter, despite the late change to the new bike, the Honda. Argentina as well, 6th, 4th for. That was decent start to the season for you. Were you happy with that result so early on?
Yeah, Argentina went actually really good. Like the team and I, we worked really hard during the off season because it's a new bike, it's a big challenge. You know, like had to develop everything from, let's say, almost from zero. So
people don't understand how difficult that is.
It's really difficult. Like even it was first time for me to such a big change because I've been almost all my life on Austrian manufacturers, and then to go on a Honda, different frame, different engines, like just to learn the setup was difficult. You have to adapt the riding style also, and yeah, we had a good off-season, good winter, and Argentina went well. Then had some struggles in Riola, but still I think we did a good job with the bike and to be ready for the season. But yeah, unfortunately it didn't go so smooth after.
But when you get an early result like that, Paul, what does it mean to you and also for the team, especially when you do have that new bike?
Yeah, it's good. Like, let's be honest, like Argentina is one of my best tracks. I always ride good there, and you know, like I was happy with the result and also with the team. And but it's like that result, I didn't take it like a granted. I knew that when we will come back to Europe, it's going to be different racing, different tracks, and it's not going to be easy. And yeah, it showed a little bit.
Well, obviously, you mentioned France, you couldn't ride there, but the team brought in the Jeremy Van Horebeke. And how important was this for you and for the team? Because obviously, as I understand it, he was doing a little bit of testing as well, and he was racing and carrying out those tests and things like that. So when you came back, have you noticed any changes, whether it's like performance of the engine or maybe some settings on the suspension? Has any of that benefited you?
Yeah, I think that was really good for the team and also for me, like to bring in Jared, because like, you know, he's so experienced. He's been riding with the many factory bikes, so he knows what to expect for the 450 with his experience. He could bring the bike, let's say, to the next level a little bit. He can help to give like the input and his thoughts, you know, like obviously like we have a little bit different riding styles, so you know, like with the engine setup, he likes a bit more mellow. I like more powerful engine, but still, like they improved the bike quite a lot during the time when I was out and recovering from injuries. So when I came back riding, I was like, oh yeah, that's a good step, good improvement, and yeah, already, let's say, after the holiday, I was happier on the bike than I was before.
Holiday.
Yeah.
Holiday nobody wants.
No. Those are the worst holidays.
Yeah. The travel agent needs sacking. Well, look, obviously, sometimes it's good to have a fresh pair of eyes in that situation. Yeah. And obviously, when you came back to Sweden last weekend, 5th overall, same as what you had, and got a 4th in race 1 as well. Were you pleased with that?
Yeah, I was happy, especially like with the first moto. Like I got a really good start, and then felt good running the pace. You know, with the guys. Okay, like the first and second, they were a bit farther away, but still pretty decent result. And I actually achieved my goal, which I said before, to ride my own race, don't look around, focus on myself, and I could do that. Didn't make any big mistakes. So yeah, I was happy with the result.
Well, Sweden was hard pack and mud. What's your sand riding like? You ready to do some surfing?
Yeah, I'm ready to do some surfing and ready to suffer a little bit.
I was going to say, because we've got really nice weather for it, but apparently there's going to be a thunderstorm a bit later on, I've been told.
Okay, you know, like since I came back, I've done 2 races and both were mudder, so I expect also to be mudder here.
Well, actually, Pauls, it's a brand new track. Have you raced or ridden here before? What's your thoughts, and how was practice earlier this morning?
Yeah, I actually haven't done any race here, but I've been for practice few times, not too many, I think like 4 or 5 times. So yeah, for the GP they put in some wave sections and some extra bumps, but generally the track is the same, and it's quite good. It has some good flow, but we will see how it races, because you know, like now when we were out for pre-practice, the track was still quite flat, and there was one faster line, but I think once the track gets rough, we'll have to change it up and look for new lines.
Actually, before I came here, because I came here a couple of years ago on a video shoot with a couple of riders, and the track looked hard pack. And when I was talking to different people over the last couple of weeks, some were saying it's really deep here, some were saying it's hard, like Valkenswaard.
Yeah.
Coming in this morning, they'd ripped the track in places. So is it deeper than normal?
Yeah, for sure. I think like when I was always practicing here, you had like hard base underneath and like quite big and tough like square edge bumps. So now it's more deeper and more loose, the sand, but still like some places are pretty hard. Like the takeoff, the jumps are hard, the wave section is super hard. So, you know, with a scoop tire, you need to watch out in those places just to not lose the rear. So it's going to be quite tricky.
And how was the free practice for you in general?
Yeah, it was good. Got a good flow, got a good feeling, and now, yeah, looking forward for the races.
Okay, and between now and the end of the year, what are the plans?
Yeah, there are not that many races left, but you know, I just want to keep building and yeah, get back the confidence, the race rhythm, the race intensity, and yeah, hopefully to reach some good results in the last races.
Okay, any tracks you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I usually like Turkey.
Yeah.
Turkey, I don't know why, but I also do pretty well there, and obviously Matterley is really nice. I enjoy racing there, big track for Europeans. So yeah, those are the 2 tracks, and for sure also Motocross Nations. All
right, well look, Pauls Jonass, Standing Construct, thanks for joining us here this weekend. Before we hand over though, Lisa, it's WMX this weekend. Before
the weekend, I caught up with WMX rider Lynn Valk, and here's what she had to say before her home GP. We're here in Arnhem, Netherlands, and we have a paddock talk with Fantic Racing MX Lynn Valk. Lynn, it's been a while since we've seen you. It's been almost 3 months. What have you been up to?
Yeah, it's been a long time, but excited to be back and to be back in Arnhem, close to my home. The last few months, yeah, I took some time off in the beginning, and then obviously I still continued riding some races in Holland, some races in Italy, a lot of testing. So yeah, I look forward to this weekend.
And actually, Arnhem is a new track for all of us, but you've raced here before a few times, haven't you, or practiced?
Yes, for mostly practice, but also some races in the past, you know, winter races and stuff. So yeah, the owner of the track do a lot on this track. They build it very nice. Everything around is very good. So I think it will be a busy weekend with all the fans, and I look forward. Yes.
And friends, family coming as well?
Yeah, it's only 1 hour from home. So yes, my family, friends, everyone come.
But being just an hour away from home, is it hard to get into work mode, knowing that you're so close to your home?
Yes and no, but I look forward. That's the main thing. I'm excited to be back behind the gate and on this Dutch sand. It's very nice. So, no, mostly I'm excited.
Well, looking at your season so far, Lynn, your best result, I think, came in Spain, where you were second. But that weekend, I think your brother as well, he also won the MX 250s. So just tell us, what was that car journey like home away from the races? I bet it was pretty cool.
It was really cool. You know, always my parents are there on the races, especially from that weekend. They stayed home that weekend because they couldn't make it to Spain. So just me and Cas and the team, and Cas won the race. I finished second, so it was emotional. You know, my parents at home, we in Spain, but it was definitely a fun weekend, very good.
And finally, Lynn, just being at home, what are we hoping for this weekend for you?
Well, I do my best, and you know, it's the sand, so I look forward. I've been practicing for the last few weeks, so yeah, I'm definitely going for the podium. Yes.
Enjoy it. Have a great weekend. Thanks, Lynn.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our live studio show here, part 3, our final part on MXGP TV. We're at round 16 of the FIA Motocross World Championship, the MXGP of the Netherlands, a brand new venue in Arnhem, and alongside me, Lisa Leyland. And our final guest is in now, team owner from Team HRC, Giacomo Gariboldi. Giacomo, good to see you.
Hi, Paul. Hi, Lisa. Good to see you.
You too. As I just mentioned there, a brand new venue. What has the feedback been from the riders after their free practice session, from Tim and Ruben?
Yeah, they just say that it's the typical Dutch track. So sandy, not very, very deep, but, you know, typical Dutch track.
Well, in terms of the season, Team HRC came in as defending world champions. I guess this moment that we're going to come up now from Finland last year seems like a million miles away from where we're at the moment for obvious reasons, but just shows how cruel motocross can be sometimes. What were your recollections of that day, that weekend, you know, with Tim wrapping up title number 5? Good memories. This was Finland.
Yeah, that was Finland last year. Yeah, I mean, it's a completely different season this year. We started missing him at the beginning, so it has been tough for us and for Ruben just, you know, to be the only one defending HRC colors. But Ruben had a good season, so at least we had some good results, especially at the beginning of the season with the win in Argentina. But of course, when you miss somebody like Tim, it's a big change for everybody.
But when you watch this back, I guess it just shows also, like, yeah, you know, the highs can be there, but also the lesson is to enjoy it while you can.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But just from your recollection there, massive day, great day?
Yeah, it was great. It was great. I remember... you know, when you win a title, it's always, you know, the best moments of the season. It's what you are working for, you know, all year, and we need to be back to that, you know.
Yeah. Well, as we know, Tim actually, he got hurt pre-season race in Italy. As HRC team owner, what went through your mind at that moment, and how would you process something like that when it happened?
It's it kills you when it happens, because you immediately you realize that you're out for the title, and you just have to hope for him, you know, to get to his best again. At the beginning, you know, you just wonder about his health and that surgery goes well and everything, so you don't focus really much on what is going to happen during the season, but immediately after, then you start realizing that the season is gone.
And everybody feels it, don't they? Because the hard work from the rider, the mechanics, everybody.
Yeah, and we have a crew of Japanese engineers, so for everybody is a blow, you know. And but this is why we need to have a second or the other rider, which is good enough, you know, to battle in front for the team. So no, it's heartbreaking, but this is how it goes, you know. We had the same situation a few years ago with Tim when again in Italy he broke down. He had a big crash after he won the title, so we are used to it and we know how it goes.
Yeah.
Well, Tim returned to action in Lockett. Since then, he's had a mixed bag of results. Is that normal after so long off the bike, or perhaps were you expecting a little bit more from him? And what can we expect from him for the final 4 rounds of the year?
Well, honestly, no, we didn't expect much more than that because we knew that he took it easy. We say to him, you don't have anything to risk for the results, so take it easy, just start putting some miles under your belt in the races. You need that, and after such a big injury, I think also mentally you need a little bit of time to get your confidence back, and the team is getting his confidence. He'll go better race by race, and we expect that, to see him on the podium for sure, but maybe, hopefully he can win a race or a GP before the end of the season.
Did you ever consider bringing in another rider when you knew that he was going to be out for so long, or was that not even an option, really, given that you are official factory HRC team?
Yeah, no, it was never an option for Japan, because they wanted somebody who could play, in front, and you had no riders available, of that level.
Well, fortunately, you had Ruben Fernandez, a very, very good backup rider. You just mentioned a moment ago that he's having a fantastic season. How impressed have you been with his season? Because obviously a Grand Prix win, 3 podiums in total. This was from Patagonia, the opening round. He was running third in points until recently, but what... is he doing what you expected, or has he gone above and beyond and done more than expected, given the situation?
At the beginning, I think he did more than we expected. With the further win in Argentina, for sure. Nobody expected this, but I really thought he could win some races at the beginning of the season, because he did a very good winter. He was very fast. Even training with team, he was on the same lap time, so we knew he had the speed to be in front. So I think he had a great first part of the season, and then it happens to him sometimes that in the middle of the season he loses a little bit his form, and then he comes back. So I think he passed the negative. Then he had the crash a couple of races ago, but otherwise he was going back to his top form. But I think when you have to judge his performance overall in the year, if he finish even 4th or 5th in the championship, is a great result.
From the outside, Ruben looks fine, but how much has he had to deal with being the only rider on the team for 11 rounds? Because that can't be easy, carrying a team like that, especially your type of team.
Yeah, he had, even if we didn't put any pressure on him, he had the pressure to see 20 people around him. He was the only rider, so all the Japanese were around him. Asking questions, and I think at the beginning, and it was his first season in Team HRC, so maybe he was not even used to that, but he handled very well, because we saw that he won immediately at the beginning, so it was not really a problem for him.
How are the boys in the practice this morning? I said the feedback, but how are they looking?
No, they look well. Still, Ruben has some pain in the body, but he feels much better than Sweden. So the team was, I think, he finished second. So they are positive, both of them.
And obviously we've got 3 rounds after this one. In terms of events coming up, big one for you is going to be in Maggiore in Italy, because obviously team is Italian based. Looking forward to that one.
Absolutely, both of them. I think in that race they could do their best performance of the end of the season. Even Matterli Besin, because team had very good races there in the past season, so I would expect to see them on the podium in the last 2-3.
And everybody likes going to Matterli as well, and it's obviously the final round. A couple of weeks after that, we've got the Motocross of Nations. Tim in the past hasn't done it recently and things like that. Do you expect him to be on Team Slovenia this year, or you don't really know yet? Or is that his decision?
No, I think they'll race. Slovenia will race the team because they have a second rider, which is quite good. They miss, of course, the third rider, but I think they will race there, Slovenia. And Spain with Ruben and Prado will be a very strong team.
Very, very strong. Okay, well, look, Giacomo, thanks for joining us in here.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
we are out of time, but enjoy the rest of the season. And fingers crossed, race wins and more podiums.
Yeah. Thank you.
No
Thank
problem.
you, guys.
Well, look, coming up on MXGP today, we are going to be live, as you can see, just before 3 o'clock. WMX are in action this weekend with their penultimate round. We've got EMX 250 race 1 as well today, and then, of course, the RAM qualifying races, MX2 and MXGP. All the action live tomorrow, and we'll be back in 2 weeks' time when we do it again in Turkey. So thanks for watching. See you then. Bye for now.